Right up your street, mate. Hi, I'm Phil from Driftworks, that's my buddy Jay. We're off to DynoTorque, give you a quick update on stuff that's going around there. A load of you have been asking questions about what's going on. A few of you have spotted a particular bike in there that we've had loads of questions about, so we just thought we'd show you. And Craig's had a little bit of a tidy up, but Taylor!
Woo!
Woo!
What?
Come and show us this first. You got a new hobby?
Yeah, man. Vaping.
Vaping.
I did used to do it many moons ago, but
it's a bit serious looking. What is it?
It's not that serious. It's a long wheelbase diesel Shogun.
Yeah.
Somewhat cheap and cheerful. Just something to go off-roading with the kids, basically.
Yeah. Your kids who are not really kids anymore.
No.
Oh, yeah.
And I needed something with lots of space because they're quite tall.
Yeah.
And these have like reclining rear seats and everything, and lots of aircon. Yeah, has aircon.
Aftermarket intercooler.
Well, the original intercooler's down there under the front bumper, and it's tiny, and it's the most. It was just like full of mud and crap, and as soon as you go through mud, it just fills up with crap.
Yeah. Subaru bonnet then?
No, it's like Subaru Trooper.
Oh, right.
So the earlier Shoguns had them there.
Yeah.
So basically, I've made this up. People put them front mount, but then the pipe work is torturous for them. So
yeah.
And we're going to put a fan on it to engage with low drive. Probably not as effective on road at speed, but when you're doing, you know, tough stuff off road, the air temps weren't good. So just whether it works or not, I'm not really that sure. But
just another thing for you to fiddle with. That makes you happy.
So I've done headers. Do this 2-inch lift kit.
Yeah.
So
is that available at Driftworks.com?
No, it isn't.
No. They probably can get it. Yeah. In fact, they can.
I'm sure
you can get it.
Okay, yeah, all right. Available from us.
Yeah. Some posh wheels.
They're fancy. I like those.
I just like the look of them.
I mean,
you know.
it's always the way, isn't it? 6-stud stuff. You're always like, wow, there's loads of options for cool stuff from them.
And they're not that expensive.
No.
But I did have some the modular steels, and I've seen them online. Just used. Like, I just got to have them.
Yeah.
Just,
so that's it. That's sort of ready to rock for the next time you want it.
it's fairly. I put some sump shields on. I've got some petrol V6 diffs to go in it, because when you put the big tyres on, you knack the gear in, so they're quite long geared then.
Yeah.
And if you put the earlier diff in, it has an airlock on the back from factory.
Oh, cool.
So this has traction control, which is actually very, I mean, it's massively more capable than I thought it would be.
Ah, cool.
So with traction and an airlocker, it's going to be unstoppable.
So on to one of your other old hobbies, bikes.
Yeah. So yeah, a few people have been asking about
this
bikes. Well, yeah, this one mainly. I don't really do bikes anymore, but I sort of do for people I like.
That's basically the way business works in general for you nowadays, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I used to do a lot of bike. I mean, that's where the DynoTorque comes from.
Yeah.
Bike dyno, which will be back up and running in a couple of weeks, probably. Yeah.
Much to our office's displeasure.
Yeah, so that's talking here all day.
I sort of give up the bikes. Just it's so seasonal, and a lot of them are pains in the arse. But
Yeah.
I've got a few mates that have got. As I get older, I want to build some posh stuff, and particularly carburetted bikes. People don't know carburetors anymore.
And you really do, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, I've done quite a lot of it.
Yeah.
So this is an old, to bike people, they'll understand, an old EFE, but it's actually an EF, different fairing. So, Stu, my mate who's...
Hiding around there.
Yeah, electronics with, so when I get stuck with electronics, it's normally him I ask.
Yeah.
This is his, just something to do, is basically all it is.
Yeah, because we all need multiple things to do in our lives, don't we?
Also his bandit.
I'm just going to stay quiet because I don't know anything about bikes.
It's got Öhlins forks.
We know that's good.
Gelspeed wheels, Porsche Brembo brakes. It's going to be superchargers on this side. This is just like an intercooler we've made up.
Yeah. Let's have a look at the supercharger. You can't say supercharger and not show it. So work in progress, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, this has all been CNC finished. We've made a plenum up for it with injectors. The throttle body's going to go in there.
What's the supercharger of?
It's a Rotrex.
Right.
It's like
it's aftermarket thing.
Like they use on Hondas and stuff like that, you know, Honda cars and stuff. Quattro exhaust, G6R swinging arm. We've remade all these bars in here to add clearance, different footrests. Just going through it, basically doing stuff.
Yeah, basically the same as cars, just a bike.
Yeah, I mean, I used to build a lot of specials and a lot of, you know, used to race supermoto, used to build lots of supermoto bikes and that, so I just don't do so much these days.
Yeah.
But that's going to be, it's going to have an M-Mod ECU, so it's going to be injection with, you know, all the stuff we can gain with that. I'm not sure quite where the plan's got fit, but just something different.
Yeah, absolutely. So you mentioned, before you go any further, you mentioned that the bike guys might like.
Yeah, this is another one of my friends. So this is a GSXR 1100 slab. It's actually, I've looked after this bike for about 20 years.
Yeah.
Where's the fancy bits gone?
They're scattered. He's took a lot of the, but it's got an original Yoshimura aluminium tank for it, which is like very rare. Yoshimura carbs. It's got new forks to go in it. So basically I've just got to rewire it and fit the carbs, exhaust, and alter stuff.
Is this all factory? Have you made this?
No, this is all stuff that Martin, our engineer, made, because Martin, our CNC guy, is obviously into bikes.
Right. It's how you all know each other.
It's how we met most people.
You're a bunch of weirdos.
So it's all got, like, you know, posh brakes. There's boxes of nice stuff to go on it. So these are actually really cool. If you like your bikes, this is very good.
Cool. And yeah, this is the engine room where you'll see lots of things, but under here there is also something important.
Yeah, I actually got some time to do a bit of my own Saturday, so that's my K24. Which is going to be good.
Yeah, I've got RX-8
it might
track
be around the block this time.
So the RX-8 track car that might see track this year.
I hope so.
I mean, I can talk. My E30 might see track.
Well, if that goes wrong, that's going in, because I've got a LT, which I probably should have just put in.
Yeah, you're pretty sad and nearly did, didn't you?
Yeah, I mean, looking back at the price it's cost me to do that, it'd have been much easier.
But you, as you said in the first place, it wasn't just about that. It was about sort of learning something new, isn't it? Nobody can tell you a single new thing about anything to do with LSs, but with 4-cylinder Japanese K24s.
And I wanted something. It wasn't like an arms race to have the most powerful car in it. I wanted just reliable fun and just easy. And it was supposed to be cheap fun, but that went.
That never works.
No, it never does. So I want to pointing in this direction, and again, a couple of people mentioned this. A couple of people know what it is, but go on, tell people what this is.
This is Nick's Hotor's car. So he's had it. I think it's one of his first nice cars. He's got a massive nice car selection, collection even.
Yeah.
So this is we inherited this as a job. It just turned up to us. There's a massive pile of it. I mean, an utter mess. The previous company, I think they've gone bust.
Yeah.
Basically, took everything apart, pretty much destroyed most of it, and left it in the corner.
Yeah.
So it's been here for quite a while. It looks a bit abandoned, but it's not.
Yeah. So what is it? 996 what?
It's 996 Carrera 4
yeah.
S, I think. I don't know if it's an S or I don't know.
Yeah, and people will be confused by those rear quarters then.
Yeah, so these are turbo wings.
Yeah.
It's got turbo. Gaz has basically done the conversion. So these are turbo rear quarters. We basically bought a crashed turbo shell, well, the rear half.
Yeah.
And this has all been unpicked and stitched. And these are genuine 996 turbo rear quarters, rear wing, lights, front wings, sills.
So why?
Because it's turboed.
Turbo what? Come on.
Wow.
Two turbos?
I'm feeding you here. Come on.
The previous place has started the V8 conversion and made a right mess of it. So this is basically a LSX 454.
Yeah.
With two GT35 turbos.
Yeah. Here's the bit that you don't generally see. So
we've got
two GT35s.
Yeah.
So we're talking easily 1,000.
It's 4 figures, yeah.
Easily.
But we had to wait ages because we wanted the reverse,
turbo.
Yes, they're both
mirror image.
That's the one.
What gearbox is it on?
Porsche turbo box.
Brave, isn't it?
Some of them last though, didn't they?
They are supposed to be strong.
Yeah. Is it 2-wheel drive or 4-wheel drive?
4.
Oh my
Still
god.
4-wheel drive.
Okay.
But things are even braver.
I mean, well, I don't know.
I mean, there's lots of these with a lot of power.
Yeah.
As long as it doesn't jump out of second gear like they all seem to.
Yeah, which is a thing.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
let's just have a look around here. Oh, that's a big boy in it.
We haven't done the exhaust. Yeah, so all the boost controls done, water pump, manifolds on back to front. And if you can see in here, originally they'd cut all the interior panels and everything and put a roll cage in it. But they put a crossbar back across here, but not diagonals.
Right.
It's really weird. So in here,
access.
So we have dual throttle bodies, so that it's like separate each side. All the fuel pressure regulator in there, everything's all in there. I've got the ECU for it now. We're just waiting, hopefully, about a week's time we should have the KWs from Driftworks.com.
Thank you.
Then we've got big brakes to go on it, and then basically waiting for Gaz.
Yeah, Gaz is in a bit of a state at the moment. He's moved units recently, and he's taken on quite a lot, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Shall we say?
And the problem is, he's good. He won't, like with this. I mean, you look around it, you wouldn't know they've been a part. He's done such a lovely job.
Amazing.
And he won't just budge, which is why we like him. But and he's got a lot of work. I mean, like everything takes 3 times as long as it should.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's a bit of a mega project. And then some of your older stuff.
Yeah, this is a genuine feed RX-7.
This is one that makes the internet extremely angry, isn't it?
Ruined it. So this come from Canada via obviously via Japan originally.
Yeah.
But we did this a few years ago. It's got a LT4 with a 10-speed auto.
Yeah.
It's
How many RX-7s have you scrapped now?
18, I think.
I tell you what, we're going to lose subscribers by the second.
I've done over 80 conversions now.
Yeah, were you accounting? You
Yeah,
keep checking. So 80 conversions, most of which are LSs.
Probably
to Japanese cars.
Probably 65 of them.
Yeah.
Not all Japanese.
No.
But yeah, this is all Nitron carbon brakes.
Fancy.
Wacky body kit. It's quite a thing.
Yeah. It is definitely quite a
Way
thing.
too fast, really.
Yeah.
It is ridiculous.
Yeah. And talking about ridiculous, and this being actually something that used to be yours.
This is my old M3.
Yeah.
The guy, obviously when I sold it with no engine, so...
Because the engine that you had in this was the LT, it's now in the Aston Martin.
So when I sold it, I built him a RLS3 for it, and then he wanted supercharged. So it's basically a supercharged RLS3.
Quite a big power, isn't it?
It's massive.
It's ridiculous. It's
What was
like,
it, 8?
I think 780 on, but it run out of fuel, so it should do probably 8 plus. So it's fast.
It's a very fancy thing, hasn't it?
Yeah.
And it's just, before it's been here, it's just had a new Simpson exhaust.
Yeah, it's just been Simpson for complete exhaust.
Which is quite loud, but an absolute work
Yeah,
of
I mean,
art,
it is
isn't
beautiful. I mean, I make exhaust, but you've got to hold your hands up sometimes when something's that nice. It is beautiful. It's probably one of the best you'll ever see.
Yeah, absolutely lovely. I mean, we could show them, couldn't we, just quickly? Shall we just do that?
It's coming to have a interchiller fitted.
Interchiller?
Interchiller. So basically, it's a like a water to aircon cooler. So basically, the aircon cools the water for the supercharger.
Wasn't that what you were going to do on this here thing
No, on
as
the
well?
Aston.
Was it on the Aston?
Yeah,
you were
just
gonna
watch
do
that
it?
charger outside, Jay.
And you've been fitting these splitters and stuff from this, haven't you?
Yeah, so put the new carbon splitter and everything on.
But yeah, let's start at the front and have a look at this exhaust.
I've not seen it.
It's fancy.
It is very nice. It's too loud, but it's nice.
Yeah, that is.
I mean, it was a lot of money.
Yeah.
Like a lot of money.
It's very nice.
It's absolutely lovely, isn't it? Yeah.
Very, very nice. And little things like you come to the land essentially, and they've put it in the pocket where the original heat shield, they've put it in the right place and stuff.
Yeah.
So just attention to
professional.
detail. Yeah.
Well, I bet you they didn't have to build this in, what was it? It was about half a day me and you built the 86 exhaust in, so.
Yeah, I think this was probably a bit longer. So this is quite, similar spec to when I had it really, but just with an LS in it.
Yeah. Just with a simple nearly 800 horsepower LS supercharged in it.
Yeah.
So yeah. So red one, there's probably not a lot to update on this because you're dilly-dallying, aren't you?
Yeah, we'll be doing some gearbox tuning, but we found out now there's a controller for the gearbox that, I won't go into it because it's boring, but there's an extra controller you can do to alter the torque control.
Right.
So I'm just looking into getting that, but no.
It's not like you haven't been using it though.
No, you've been pretty much daily in it.
Pretty much every day, yeah. Hence
It's very, very funny watching this. We end up on the same journey to work sometimes, and watching this sort of kangarooing under power behind you is quite a funny thing to see. People absolutely love it as well.
It's funny when people at traffic lights like try and blast you, or you just give it a little squeeze and just destroy it.
To like 2,000 RPM knowing you.
So this is due to the bike.
Yeah.
Just most people look at bandit, but if you look close, carbon fibre wheels, Brembo brakes, Öhlins forks, Gale Speed mass cylinders, G6R swinging arm, super spots, full of Popovich, Hyper shock. You know, to exhaust off at the moment, we're just doing some linkage work. We're just tweaking a linkage for different rising rates.
Yeah.
So, you know, bike people will understand that.
Yeah. Car people like to see this probably.
So this is a truck that we've had in. It come in for an oil leak, and we ended up spending about 2.5 weeks on it.
Mm-hmm.
Is this a turbo one?
It was turboed, and it was just like I've never seen fault after fault. It was just horrendous. So we ended up going through doing a load of work. We ended up actually taking the turbos off and putting a supercharger on it.
That sits well in there, doesn't it?
Yeah,
it's very nice.
It's gone for mapping, and it come from America supposedly all tuned and mapped and all this fancy and that. It turns out it's only got 1 bar map sensor in it.
Right.
So as soon as it makes boost, they've just literally gone full fuel. So we're just getting a few tweaks ready for that to go back to mapping.
Nice looking thing though, definitely.
Yeah.
What's with the Jeep?
This is we seem to inherit jobs, so this is
based on reputation.
Yeah, probably. So we had a customer wanted a Jeep doing one of the newer Jeeps which we're going to do, which is a bit of a random one to do, and then part way through the wait he said, I've actually got one being built somewhere else with a diesel engine in and they can't get it working. Would I take it on and put the V8 in this instead? And then so I said yes, and within a day the other place had delivered it to us, and
big job.
Oh my god, I've never seen anything like it. They've tried,
yeah,
but they've tried to put the whole car loom and everything out of the later Jeep. But of course, without the ABS and everything doesn't work, so they put the hubs like tucked in the inner wings and stuff. You know, modern cars have to have all the information.
Yeah.
So we ended up basically literally took everything out.
Yeah.
We ended up buying another Jeep for all the parts.
That's what the red thing is at the front.
I mean, even the heater box had been hacked in half, enjoyment bits of hose.
Yeah.
The pedals been up, everything would come.
Was there only one extra Jeep? Was there not 2 extra Jeeps?
Well, he bought one to convert this one in the first place.
Right.
So we're a few weeks on, and I mean the diesel that was in it, the bonnet wasn't shut by about 2 inches, and it was sat on the axle. Remember the live axle? The axle obviously travels and comes up, and you need space. So that's now a LT, L86 and LT1 effectively. Same as in that, but not supercharged.
Yeah.
10-speed auto.
Is this going to be 4-wheel drive?
4-wheel drive.
And it's going to do wheelies, obviously.
It'll be fast.
Yeah.
So it's all in. We had to do some bulkhead work. It already had a big hole chopped out for the wiring loom, which was just a square hole and grinder, not even taped up. It was shocking. So that's all in now. Axle clears, all the sump, all the steering geometry still works. Standing intake fix clears the bonnet.
Yeah.
It's been a lot of work. I mean, it really has. To try and, I mean, the engine was enough. Then we spent like probably the best part of a week swapping the wiring looms. I mean, they'd even like chopped up the door looms, so I had to take all the door looms out.
Big one, big one.
We had to strip down the other car first, didn't you?
Well, yeah, we had to buy a running car so everything worked to strip it. You know, the brake mass cylinder was different. They just chopped the aircon lines here, so you need to get the heater box out. I mean,
before we get into the last one, the other thing people are going to ask is, where's the Aston?
At home.
Just sitting on your driveway.
Well, I use it.
Loving life again.
Yeah.
You choose which car you go in the morning.
Yeah, I mean, you know, the thing is, you drive the Aston every day. It's low and a bit stiff, and just my journey to work is like yours. It's in traffic a lot of it.
Yeah.
So as much as I love driving it, like if you get into that, it's so different.
Yeah.
It's like you get out your Porsche into your Cayenne.
Yeah.
Well, into your other Porsche. But they're so different, aren't they?
Hashtag knobhead.
Yeah. Yeah, but then if I drive that for a week,
Yeah.
I get back in the Aston, it feels really special again, you know.
Yeah.
And
but remind people what's left to do on that, because
on the Aston,
it's been a while since we promised people sort of a roundup, a finish up video of that car that never happened. That was that
like
more than a year ago? Nearly 2
to be honest, it never has happened. I've got when I bought the diff unit, it got a crack in it, and I thought it had a bump on a crack in it, and then I've launched it a couple of times and it's actually busted the arm off the back of the diff.
Yeah.
So I welded it up and made like a brace for it, but it turns out they are a problem.
It's a Corvette part, isn't it?
Yeah, so explain to people what box is it then?
It's got the Corvette T56 Transact.
Yeah. So lots of people who watch this are probably familiar with that.
Yeah, I mean, and they do braces for them and they do all sorts, but I've got the new parts to do it.
Yeah. So Corvette problems in your Aston Martin, basically.
Basically, yeah. So maybe if I'd done a bit more research early on, I'd have thought, but you know, you just think it's worth.
So you've got those bits to fit.
I've got them, but daily driving normal, it's fine.
Yeah.
You know, if you want to sidestep the clutch or something, it'll probably break in. So I've just been using it, and you know, I've had it. It's probably been around about 18 months, and it's brilliant. It just works so well.
And like everything, we will get round to it. It's like many of my projects. You will get round to it when the time is right. So don't worry, peeps. We'll keep you up to date.
Yeah, and I need to get it dynoed. I've got the software and everything now, and I've got the tune to put and have a play with it now. But the problem is it works so well.
Yeah.
You know, the bass tune that's in it is, you know, it's so good, it's so fast.
Yeah.
It sort of doesn't need any more.
No.
I know that sounds crazy, but it's so good.
You just need your pub numbers, don't you?
Yeah.
So this is a bit of old school stuff going on here.
So that's an old Corvette which I converted to LS3 probably 3-4 years ago, which normally lives in Spain. So that's come back from Spain to basically wants a long gear ratio.
Yeah.
So we're trying to decide whether to. I don't think the diff's going to be enough. But to put a 6-speed gearbox in, it's a lot of money. So we're just trying to work out what's the best value for money ways to get more gear.
That's on auto.
It's on a 3-speed auto at the moment.
Yeah.
Which is actually, it runs really nicely. It works well.
Yeah.
But
Can you not stick like a 4L80, 4L60 in it? Or is that nice,
it's about £6,000. But
really?
So you need the gearbox, the controller, the prop, you know. So I need to have another conversation and decide how badly do you want a bit more gear in.
And there's a bit of graffiti, you know, crime going on in the workshop.
Well, it's drifters, isn't it?
Yeah, bloody drifters.
So this is.
It's probably worth about 25 grand now, this shell, isn't it?
But it's this guy, he contacted me a while ago on the forum. I've given him some information, and unlike most, he actually listens. And, you know, I said what I recommend, which he's done. He dropped off to have an emerald install, so lube, ECU, and basically do the engine wiring, and just tidy up a few.
What is it? Just a LS3, is it?
It's LS. It's LS1.
Yeah.
No, it's LS1. Is it LS1? No, it's not. No, it's a truck block. Sorry, it's a truck block with 3 heads.
Cool.
I think.
Needs some boost age, eh?
Yeah. But basically, it needs like wiring, ECU putting in.
Can you let him have a cable throttle?
No.
I was going to say.
That's gone.
You're not a fan of those, are you?
Well, the problem is with these that you know they say, oh, well, what if the throttle body packs up, or what if the TPS packs up, which they do, and you gain so much, you know, hot start, cold start, like when the fans come on, you can jack the idle and stuff like that. You know, it just
there's nothing worse than those old-fashioned stepper motor idle valves.
No. That's what this is, but it's black. But they don't really work very well. They never do.
No.
In the fly-by-wire throttles are very good. So. We're going to do that.
So that's probably about it, I guess, isn't it? I think it doesn't feel like we've covered everything, but then if the Aston's at home and none of my crap's around here, then
which is unusual.
That's been the last couple of months.
The reason most of this is like this and not worked on is because the crawler wasn't. Well,
so I will apologise to your customers. If there's been any delay, it's probably my fault. So sorry about that. But thanks for showing us around. I'm sure the peeps will have loads of questions. So if you do, just write in the comments, and me and Craig will have a look. and we maybe pick out a few and we can answer them in a later video. But yeah, thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time.